This session we are going to learn about how to handle the files and directories. There are many operations that are performed on files, such as to open a file, to read the contents from the file, and to write the contents into the file and closing the file. Now we will discuss each one in detail. These are the functions which are used to handle the files. The first one is fopen. It is used to open a file or an URL. It takes two parameters. The first one is string and the second one is mode of accessing the file. The first one indicates the name of the file and the second one is how we are going to access the file. There are three modes of accessing a file. First one is read mode, second one is write mode, and the third one is append mode. When the file is opened in read mode, it is only used to read the contents from the file. When the file is opened in write mode, we can add some data into the file. If the file is opened in append mode, we can open an existing file and we can add some extra data into the file. The next function is fclose. It is used to close the file which was opened by the above function. The next function is fread. It is used to read the contents from the file. It takes two parameters. The first one is file pointer and the second one is length of the data to be read from the file. The length of the data should be in the multiple of kilobytes. That is 1 kilobyte is equivalent to 1024 bytes. Now we will see an example to fread. The following is the example to read the contents from a file sample.txt. Here we are opening the file sample.txt in read mode. The output of this file is as shown. These are the contents of the file sample.txt. Now we will see what are the contents in the sample.txt. To see the contents of the sample.txt, the command is as follows. This is the contents of the text file sample.txt. Now we will see the next function fwrite. It is used to write some contents into the file. It takes three parameters. The first one is file pointer and the second one is string and the third one is length of the data to be written into the file. The second parameter string indicates what is the data to be written into the file. Now we are going to see an example of fwrite. Here we are opening a file test.txt in write mode and writing the some contents into the file. After execution of the file, the output of the file is as shown in the figure. After execution of the above program, the output is as shown. Now we are going to see the contents in the test.txt. Now we can observe the words writing into a file. These were written from our function. The next one is file. It is used to check whether the given parameter is a file or not. It returns a boolean value. It returns true if the file exists and it returns false if the file does not exist. The next function is make directory. It is used to create a directory. It takes two parameters. The first one is the path and the second one is mode. Now we will see an example of make directory. In this example, we are going to create a directory with name IEG sample and the permissions are 755. That is, for the owner of the file, their permissions are 7. That is, he can read, write and execute. Similarly, the 5 and 5 also follows. The next function is remove directory. It is used to remove a directory. It takes a single parameter, that is name of the directory. It returns a boolean value. If the removal of the directory is successful, it returns true or it returns false. We can observe this by the following example. This example is used to delete the directory IEG sample. The next function is file exists. It is used to check whether the given file exists or not. If the file exists, it returns a value true or it returns a value false. And the next function is renaming a file. It is used to rename a file. It takes two parameters. The first one is the name of the file to be replaced, and the second one is name of the file to which to be replaced. And the next function is fgets. It is used to get a line from the file pointer. The reading of the file ends when the length -1 bytes have been read on a new line or an end of file has occurred. If no length is specified, the length defaultly taken as 1K or 1024 bytes. If any error occurs, it returns a false. The next function is file end of file. It is used to test whether the file is at the end of the file or not. Initially, when we open a file, the file pointer will be at the starting of the file. By reading the contents, the file pointer will be moved towards the end. When we reach the end of the file, it returns true. The next function is chmod. It is used to change the mode of the file. The mode of the file in the sense accessing the mode of the file. It takes two parameters. The first one is name of the file and the second one is mode of the file. The next function is chown. It is used to change the owner of the file. It takes two parameters. The first one is name of the file and the second one is user. If we want to change the owner of the file, we should be the owner of the file or the super user of the file. The last function is copy. It is used to copy the contents from one file to another file. This makes a copy of a file. It returns true if the copy has been successful or it returns a false.